were able to get some input from the council on the 15th as well as the public. On the 22nd, which was last week, we also met with Economic Development Budget Ad Hoc Committee to take into consideration the input they had provided to us as part of the June 15th meeting. And subsequently, we prepared the final draft city budget, which is here for tonight for the agenda. Concurrently, we also had a meeting on 27th with Economic Development Committee in order to discuss alternative revenue funding options or alternatives for city council to consider to propose to the community. That also took place, and then the meeting was about an hour and a half, and we got some good input. On the 29th, which is today, we are proposing to adopt a budget by the city council. And what I want to go over so there are some property tax notable trends in news. The source of this information is provided by Liza Balamas. They are our consultant, and they actually have over 40 to 50 years of experience in providing this data for a number of cities, maybe 90% of the cities up and down in the state of California. So we are not making this information up, but it's important to know that the city is part of the legislation. So we are under some restrictions in terms of how
the city is going bankrupt. They have money. They've had 3 budgets.
By 136 million over the last 5 years. The rate of growth for the next 3 years is estimated to be 3.34%. And the majority of that growth is coming from the former redevelopment areas, which are the areas where you have the industrial properties. So part of this transactions are involve the sale of these properties or the exchange of these properties into other business ventures. Since the dissolution of the redevelopment agency, the revenue that went to the redevelopment agency now is being used to pay the tax sharing amounts, including the $25,000 paid to the city and to the local taxing agencies. Generally, as new development occurs or new sales of properties increase, the property values also increase. About 9% of the resulting increase in revenue will find its way into the general fund, which is a really small amount per square foot. More importantly, though, our assessed values for the homes are about 40% below market value, which means that we do have a limitation on the amount of property taxes that we can collect off of these amounts. Sales tax notable trends and use. The city of Cudahy receives sales tax as well from a number of different sources, which include auto sales, auto building construction, business industry, as well as food and drugs, which are the pharmacy. Our fuel services are probably one of our largest chunks of revenue. So if you are in Cudahy, then definitely fuel up at one of our gas stations. We are sure to get that 1 cent back for investment in our roads and highways. So we would appreciate that.
Repeal of utility users tax is going to ruin the city.
Is disproportionate, which when compared to the state average, which is about 6%. So we're about 4 or 5 times almost more than the state average. So that means that we need to expand our tax base by getting new businesses to come in and also businesses that are generating revenue for the city. So this comparison basically gives you a quick overview of those numbers, and we'd be happy to review these in more in depth. And again, the source of this information is by either letters alone. So the sales tax notable trend in the 3-year sales tax and use share budget estimates for fiscal year 15-16, 16-17, and 17-18, 18-19 are
going down.
And as you can see, we are currently proposing for 2017-18 year an increase of about 2%.
Okay, I am not alone.
These taxes.
I have other people watching me, but I have to keep it secret so that I can throw people off.
As you can see, these are the various breakdowns of the pie chart that you saw earlier. So these are the exact numbers from where the revenues come from. We don't make these numbers up. They are provided directly to the state by the...
We don't make them up. Please.
Okay, city revenue overview and revenues and expenses. revenues for all funds of the city for fiscal year 16-17 was $12,457,380. For fiscal year 17-18, we are proposing $12,109,028, which means that if you take those two, there is a decrease in total revenues of $348,352. Total expenditures by time. So in the operation side of the budget for fiscal year 2016-17, our total expenditures were $8.4 million, and in fiscal year 2017-18, we are proposing to have $473, which is a decrease of $1,351,317. So, on the salary benefit side of our budget, for fiscal year 16-17, we budgeted $2,264,172. For fiscal year 2017-18, we're proposing to have a salary benefits budget of $2,198,029. So the decrease in salary expenditures from last fiscal year to this fiscal year is proposed at $66,123. On the special fund side,
This city is losing money fast. It's a sinking
for
ship.
fiscal year 16-17, we got $7,737,403. And for fiscal year 17-18, we are proposing an amount of $6,216,019, which is a decrease of 1.5.
Okay, everybody, I'm going to say this one last time. I'm not alone here, but I can't tell anybody because I'm trying to throw off the city council. So please stop asking. I am not alone here. Thank you.
$13,434,613. The decrease in expenditures from one fiscal year to the other is $791,905. So we'll cover some of these more. But just really kind of quick overview. The general fund reserve balance. This is a historical analysis of the general fund. A lot of questions have been raised about this question, and this slide basically provides you with the available information that we have on the general fund reserve. And as you will note, from 2007-2008, this we did have about almost $8.9 million in reserves, and funding was put away, which is in the beginning. And then, as you will note, for fiscal year 2009-2010, until the present time, which is the last 7 or 8 years, there has been a consistent decrease, as you will note in red, of the general fund reserve until this year, which we managed to balance our budgets on the operating side from the general fund. So again, these are estimates and these are information that we'd be happy to discuss. But again, we have managed to hopefully turn the tide and continue. We look forward to continuing that trend because over the next 2 years we will need the revenues to implement some of the grant-funded projects that we have received. I will also have our committee here providing an update on the highway safety and capital improvement projects. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to present the following 3 slides on about capital projects. So the first one is about sources of secure grant funding. As you can see, we have 3 different types of grants. The first one is the Highway Safety Improvement Program. And under this grant, the city actually receives cycle.
Jeff Sessions is going to cut the
on the
funding.
the proposed project is the traffic signal modification project on Atlantic Avenue. And the amount is $688,800 with a local match of 10%. The next one is the exercise cycle 7. Next one is cycle 7. And under this project, the proposed under this grant, the proposed project is the safety enhancement along Salt Lake Avenue. The amount is listed at $196,500 with a local match of 9.16%. It's important to mention that even though we say local match, none of these local match are coming from general reports.
This is going to go down to negative. They're running out of money faster than count.
The next grant is the Active Transportation Program, ATP. And under this grant, we actually receive ATP 1 Cycle 1 and ATP Cycle 2. ATP Cycle 1, the proposed project is the Cudahy Citywide Pedestrian Corridor Improvement Project, Route to School. And this is the project that we're actually seeing that is under construction right now all around the city. So we expect this project to be completed within the following weeks. The next one is ATP Cycle 2, which is the Wilcox Avenue complete streets and Route to School.
Which we see happening right now outside.
$1,844,000 with a local match of 2%. The next one, the next category is the Metro Corridor project. This is a LAGMA or Metro project, as this is a local grant. And under this grant, we actually received the 2015 corridor projects. And the proposed project is the Atlantic Avenue complete streets improvement project. The amount is listed there, $3,283,777 with a local match of 45%. The next one actually is a list of those pending grants, and under this category we actually have ATP Cycle 3, and this is Atlantic Avenue Bicycle and Pedestrian Admin project. When we say pending grant funding, the city actually received this grant. The only thing pending right now is to execute the actual state master agreement with that. But the city is receiving this grant already. Okay, next one please. Okay, and the last slide on capital projects is just to list some future grant opportunities. In here I have listed the most important as far as traffic safety and transportation grants that are available out there, which is the Highway Safety Improvement Program, which is IPC. And the next one is the Cycle 9, Active Transportation Program. The next cycle is going to be the Cycle 4. The Metro Corridor Project that is going to be open this year. Metro Open Street Grant Program, and the Caltrans Sustainable Community Transportation Planning Grant Program. This is not all grants available, but those are the most important, and of course, every time the city or the agency see a grant opportunity, we will look for that. Thank you. And with this, I will pass on Steven.
Great. Actually, before, I just want to acknowledge to my colleagues, just write down all your questions. We'll go through the full presentation, and then at the end, we'll be allowed to present the questions and answers. Okay? Thank you.
So we're going to take and have an overview of the fiscal year 2017-18 budget, general fund budget. So for the total revenues of the city, including special, the total funded, the revenues is $12,109,028. For the general fund, their revenues, which are going to be reflected in the pie chart below, is
The Senate still has to approve Kate's law and no Sanctuary for Criminals Act. The House has passed.
35% of the total.
And I say it's doomed for Democrats if they don't pass the legislation.
Significant general fund revenues is intergovernmental revenues that we receive from the state of California and other local agencies. Other sources of revenues are going to be kind of in very small amounts, ranging between 2% and 5% of that. But those are going to be fines and forfeitures, building and safety, the use of money and property, reinvesting, charges for services for planning and engineering services, and then other charges, miscellaneous charges for services, and then a small amount of other reimbursements. The total expenditures citywide is $13,444,613.
Three liars.
The general fund, a portion of that is $7,228,594. And the special funds are $6.2 million. The departments, various departments of the city, are typically probably like 1 to 5% of the overall citywide budget. And that would be the city council, the attorney's office, the city clerk's office.
These are all projections, not facts.
Finance.
Just FYI.
Our community development.
FYI.
other safety,
projections.
parks and recreation. Then public safety overall for the citywide budget is 26% of that. And then we have facility operations, which is going to be general city hall, and then also our insurances that we premiums that we get.
Insurance premiums.
And then the special funds
Obamacare.
picks up the last part of the overall budget. I want to look at some trends, general fund trends and news. The general fund revenues are slightly lower than the last year, so anticipated 3% decrease. Sales tax is projected to increase by 2% in fiscal year 17.
No, it won't.
In the following fiscal year 18-19, by 2.9%. And these are the Invigilator or HDL projections. Property tax.
$61,000 surplus is a joke.
The general fund expenditures are 16% less for this fiscal year 2 of this budget year, 2017-18, than the prior adopted budget. When we look at the revenues versus expenditures, we have a proposed balanced operating budget for the fiscal year 2017-18, and we will have a $61,636 surplus. If that's revenues are going to be greater than the expenditures by that amount. I'll turn this back to the city manager.
Thank you for the information. So moving on now, we're going to go to basically the department presentations, and I'll take the lead on this one, and we'll pass it around to the department. Starting with the management services.
The city manager is one of the most overpaid. He gets nearly $300,000 a year.
City council, city attorney, city clerk, and city manager's office, as well as the human resources. In this department, we basically saw a 43% decrease in the operations costs, a 16% increase in salary, insurance, and benefits overall when you combine
Five sheriffs.
And again, the budget provides you with exactly what required information. So that was actually provided in the budget packet that everybody has available for your review. For the council budget highlights, for Department 4001, there was an increase in the travel budget, and there was also an increase for public relations.
Increase from the travel budget.
There was a reduction to the amount basically allocated for city attorney services, and that amount is go away from a based contract to an hourly-based contract. And the amount being recommended by the council in this budget is $185,000, away from the $240,000 standard.
Why is this necessary? And why is this
For management services, the city manager's budget includes the elimination of one full-time position, reduced consulting costs, and also what they get for my behalf, basically implement succession planning that hopefully will allow us to develop our own staff. And we have had difficulty in the staff. Once they get experience, they move on to do, and that's to be expected. But again, we have to understand the market that we're in. We can provide people with an education, a good practical background.
They need a public relations budget increase.
And then hopefully, send them on to other cities and represent that in the rest of their career.
Until they
So
sue for the
that's
relations.
the important components of the time that we took over alignment of these. On the city clerk budget highlights, there is funding now allocated for personnel to carry out the city clerk office function. And that also does include preparations of minutes, and also we do have some funding allocated for the 2018 election. Human resources.
Thank you. So for the Human Resource Department, first we have the reestablishment of the Employee Recognition Program. This particular program has been dormant for about 5 years, and the purpose of the reestablish is to promote boost employee morale as well as boost employee retention practices. We've also augmented the Employee Education Incentive Program. As we all know, knowledge is power, so any opportunity we give our employees to go out and get any job-related education and bring it back to the table, it's always beneficial to the city. Same thing goes for the professional HR certification. As you know, there's a lot of change in labor laws as business go by, and it's really good to be able to go out and get that education and bring it back and put it towards risk management practices. This is part of those things.
Next, we have the financial services department. There's 4 divisions within that department: finance administration, accounting, business license, and purchasing. There is a 22% increase in operations for the next year, and that's going to be for our master fee study, and also we need to update our OPEB, actuarial reports, so that is going to be something that's occurring this next year. And then there's a 3% decrease in salary, insurance, and benefits. For finance services, financial administration budget, that's for finance administration does continue monthly financial report, the activities, make sure that coordinated tax forms to the state and federal governments get filed timely. Then ensuring and planning for the external audits, which we have an annual audit, and we also have audits of some of our transportation funding as well. For the accounting, there's processing of there's the semi-monthly payments to the vendors. There's also bi-weekly payroll that occurs.